right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show from A to Zoe. I'm your hostess, Zoe Robinson. I have J Diggs Tha Prodigy with me. Welcome to my show. I really appreciate your time. I love your art, by the way, your music, everything. Henny and Tacos is my favorite song.
Thank
So
you.
I
Thank
want
you.
you to introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, world. My name is J Diggs the Prodigy, hailing from Fort Worth, Texas. I've been doing music now for 15-ish years, maybe a little bit longer. Um, I started out making the music under a whole different name, but then it was easier to cash checks that had my actual name on there, and I threw the Prodigy on there just for a little pizzazz. But I mean, all my music is me. If I'm not telling my own story, I'm telling a story that I may have witnessed from somebody around me who couldn't tell the story themselves, not in the way that I do it. So, um, I guarantee that if you go through any songs that I've put out or featured on, you're gonna find something you like, and it might just be Henny and Tacos because everybody seems to like Henny and Tacos.
Because it's a dope ass song. Okay. I'm just saying that that's like the summer jam.
Yep, absolutely.
And the fall jam in Texas because it's still kind of summer here.
Yeah. Yeah, we finally got a hint of cool weather, and I wish I could say that's what triggered my son to wear hoodies, but he's been wearing hoodies all year. So,
Yeah, that's a teenager thing. I don't get that. I don't know. That's weird.
me neither.
Okay, well, thank you for your introduction. I do want to dive deep into a couple of things because I do my research, right?
Oh
All right,
man,
so you grew up in the church.
I did.
Yes. And you also grew up in the church choir.
That I also did.
Okay, I want to talk about that a little bit because I want to see how you transition from being in the church choir to going to hip hop music and rap music.
So, for me, I joined the choir because I didn't really want to do anything else in church. Coming from
Mhm.
a family that was deeply rooted in church, it was always if you there, you gonna do something. And so I didn't want to be an usher because at the time the church was so big. I didn't want to do all that standing and walking around and stuff like that. I tried the drill team, but the lady was so mean they ended up canceling the drill team because nobody wanted to show up to practice.
Oh no.
So everybody else, my dad, my aunts, everybody else was in the choir. So I was like, all right, I'll join the choir. That's what the Diggs family does. We get in the choir. So I got in the choir. I was a tenor, did my thing, had a couple solos. At that time, I was too shy. So it was difficult for me to even sing a solo, but I could sing amongst the crowd, and that was
How old
easy.
were you then?
Ooh, 10, 11, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah. I was
not the shy
still,
age though.
no, I was definitely shy because, I mean, back then, like churches are still big, but the one we went to then was big. Like, I'm talking 500 to 1,000 people any given Sunday, and I got
Oh
to get
yeah,
up there, little old me, and sing in front of everybody. And the funny thing
yeah.
is when I was younger, I didn't have a problem doing it. As I got older, I guess because I wanted to look cool or whatever, I was starting to go into the teenage years. I was kind of shy.
Mhm.
I actually have a picture of me, probably like 4 or 5 years old, with a mic, and like I'm doing something in the church. And I posted it a couple times. I was like, I've always had a mic in my hand for some reason,
Oh, that
but
is so cool.
for me, my dad was always playing hip hop because my dad was young when I was born, so
Mhm.
he was still listening to a lot of West Coast hip hop. I grew up E40, Be Legit, um, Dub C, Ice Cube, Easy E, all of them. Like I grew up listening to that. Tupac, obviously, Dr. Dre, Snoop, and all of them. Then No Limit came around, Cash Money. Obviously, we had some East Coast in there with Biggie, different stuff like that. So I was always around hip hop. Um, and it just kind of became a way for me to kind of get out my own frustrations, tell my own stories and things like that. And I started rapping, going to house parties and stuff in high school and college, and people would get
Oh,
drunk, and I would rap and I would freestyle or whatever to whatever song was playing. And somebody was like, "Yo, you should actually make a song." I was like, "No, I'm not that kind of rapper. I just get a couple drinks in me, and I'm gonna rap a little bit, and then I'm gonna go find me another drink." Then my best friend pushed me into doing club promoting
mhm.
because even though I would rap at parties, I was still very much introverted. It was the alcohol that made me, open up and whatnot. So I
Okay.
started doing club promoting, and I met this guy by the name of Sammy G, and he was a rapper. He was actually really close friends with Trey D. If anybody remembers his song "Gutter Chick," like when that was popping, that's when I met
Mm-hmm.
Sammy G, and he took me to a studio, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to come to the studio with me." I was like, "I don't rap. Why?" He's like, "Nah, it's cool. We'll go to the studio. I'm gonna record a verse, and then we're gonna go to the club." I was like, "All right, cool." So hopped in the car, drove out to Mesquite. Couldn't drink because at that time there was no alcohol sold in Mesquite. So I'm like, "What am I? I'm just gonna sit here and watch, dude." And then he played a old Drake beat, and he was like, "You should go in there and rap something." And I had been writing some stuff, but I hadn't actually like rapped, been to a studio or anything like that. So I went in there and I performed or rapped a verse. And it was so difficult because like back then I had a BlackBerry. So I'm sitting here scrolling through the little trackpad trying to make sure I keep up with the beat and stuff like that. Like I didn't know how to
Yeah.
count bars. I didn't know timing, cadences, anything like that. I was essentially just talking into the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I rapped the verse and he was like, "Yo, that's dope. You should be a rapper." And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna let you keep that or whatever." And then it just, I started back over on the Fort Worth side of things because I got tired of driving all the way out to Dallas to do anything, and started meeting a bunch of the local rappers that were here in the Fort Worth scene at the time, like Smooth Vega, Royal South, Osama the Great. I met Snow the Product when she was out here, when she was living out here at that time. So it just
Ooh.
kind of spiraled in a whole bunch of other stuff. And then, of course, my dad, being a pastor, was always like, "You should do a Christian song. Do a Christian song." So I did one for a kids revival at the church back in like
Mm-hmm.
2010, and I never did another Christian song after that because I was just like, nobody wants to hear that. That's not what I'm doing. And people were giving me so much crap about it. They're like, you can't ride both sides. You can't do Christian music and do rap and blah blah blah.
But
So
you
I was
can.
really, you can,
You
and I
can.
know that for a fact now.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was trying to build a name for myself, and I was like, man, I don't need them thinking I'm flip flopping or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
So I kind of
Okay.
stuck to one side. And I mean, I made the music that you guys hear now for the most part. But I will say, I do have a Christian album that hopefully, God willing, will be done before the year is up, but it probably won't release until probably June. I'm gonna give it a proper rollout, proper everything. Because if I'm gonna do it that route, then I'm gonna do it the right way. Everything else, I'll throw it out there and then like give it 60 days and be like, "Hey, I'm dropping this. Go pre-save this, go pre-order this, yada yada, whatever the case may be." So, but I
Yeah.
will say one of my most successful songs in terms of doing something that I had never done is a Christian track called "I'm Still Here." That one peaked at number 23 on the iTunes Christian charts, and that was the first time I had ever charted anything, and I even got a plaque for it. And I was just like,
Wow.
"That's cool. That's some." Somebody told me, "Hey, have you checked the charts?" And I was like, "For what?" Like, I've never released a Christian song before. Like, why would I check the charts for that? And I checked it one day and it was like 26. And then I started promoting that it was 26. And then like within a couple of days, it got up to 23. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is really doing something." And come to find out, what caused it is because I wrote the song for my aunt's women's conference. And in the church, it's a lot of older women and they still believe in buying music. So they were buying the single, not just streaming it. So because they were buying it, I was getting credit for lots more streams and activity on it than I would if people were just streaming it, and that's what helped like get it up there. So
That is fantastic. So I want to go into how did you develop the album, the Christian album that you're going to release next year?
with this one, obviously it starts with "I'm Still Here." I did that
Mm-hmm.
song, and then after that, I followed it up with a song that will be releasing soon called "Father Forgive Me." And even before I had decided to fully do a Christian album, I always wanted to do a song called Father Forgive Me. It is based on the story of the prodigal son because that was me. Like I moved out of my dad's house when I felt like I needed to go because there was nothing going on for me here. I was tired of washing dishes when we got a brand new dishwasher. I'm tired of doing chores. Like I'm grown. I want to get out. Um, and then like I learned from that situation, and obviously I've always known the story of the prodigal son, so I wanted to find a way to bring that into song format.
Mm-hmm.
I knew another artist by the name of D Flow. He also raps, and he's done some Christian music and general just clean rap and things like that. So I asked him to be part of it. I tried to sing the hook. I didn't. I thought it sounded good. Other people were like, "No, it don't sound that good." So I went and recruited Lyric Bay to sing the hook on it, and she
Jordan, I'm
killed it.
glad you did that. She has an amazing voice.
She killed it, and
Yeah.
I was just like, and I didn't like once she sent it back, and I was just like, all right, yeah, we're really gonna do this. So of course, I got the track finished. I sent it over to Wild Out Radio. Shout out to Spaceship Oasis and DJ Lady J Rock. I sent it over to them, thinking, hey, I'm just gonna get a review on this song. Like it is what it is. I just want to get a review, and
Hmm.
then it ended up being Song of the Songs. Like it
Because
won Song of the Night and
it's
ended
an
up being Song of
amazing
the
song.
Songs. And I was
Yes,
just like, okay.
I love that song.
I was not expecting that to happen, but
Hmm.
it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year since I finished the song, and so I feel like it was finally time to put that out, especially with us coming into the Thanksgiving holiday and people being thankful. I'm thankful that um, despite everything that I've done in my life, whether it be against what God has planned for me or even against what my dad wanted me to do when I was younger, that I got that forgiveness. So I felt like
Yeah,
it was perfect time to go ahead and put that one out.
yeah, yeah. That's I am enamored by the way that your brain thinks when it comes to putting together music. Um, because Henny and Tacos is just so different than like Crown Talk. And
Mhm.
it's so different than the music that you're going to release. So how do you balance staying true to your style and experimenting with different sounds and different topics?
For me, that balance is always knowing who I am as an artist. Because
Hmm.
I know who I am as an artist, if I venture off to try something else and it's not working, I can still bring it back to who I am. I can
Hmm.
try out and experiment with new things. Yes, I sang in the choir, but I'm not like the best trained singer or anything like that. But I still sang the chorus on Henny and Tacos and several of my other songs. I can carry a tune and maybe harmonize a little bit to get it to work, but that was me trying something different. Was okay, I'm gonna sing the hook. I don't care what anybody else says. Yes, I know a bunch of great singers, but like there's a bunch of reasons why I prefer to make some
But
songs a hundred
it's
percent by
you.
myself.
Yes, it's you. Like you sounded great on Henny and Tacos.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to you. You can carry a tune very, very well, sir. I'm glad you understand that. Um, and we all appreciate it. By the way, you all need to go out and stream Henny and Tacos from J
Yes.
Diggs the Prodigy
Stream it, love it.
because
Get yourself some Henny. Get
yes,
yourself
have
some
some tacos,
tacos.
go in the house, chill, unwind,
Yep.
have a good vibe.
Yeah. If you smoke, roll one up and just whatever gets you in that zone to just chill, do it. 'Cause that's what
Exactly.
that song is for. It's just about having a good time.
Yeah.
No bad vibes.
So you do have kind of a signature style. How did you develop that sound that I hear on all of your music?
So for me, um, what was it, 2014, maybe 2013, I had a 12-hour studio session
Mm.
with T Riff, and it was for one song. It was not an
12 hours
entire
for one
project.
song?
It was one song. So here was the thing. I had a rapper voice at that time. Like I would change my voice to make myself sound like every other rapper because I thought that's what I needed to sound like. And he was
Um,
hell bent on making sure he's like, look, he's like, come out the booth. So I come at the booth. He's like, just talk to me. What are you doing in there? I was like, I'm trying to rap. He's like, so why don't you sound like this in the booth? He's like, there's nothing wrong with your speaking voice. Why are you going in there doing that voice? And I was like, well, that's what I'm supposed to sound like when I rap. And he's like, so you want to sound like everyone else? I was like, no, not really, but that's what people want to hear. And he's like,
no.
no, go in there. And he's like, go in there and talk. So I went in there and I talked the verse. He's like, all right, now add some swag to it. So I went in there and I started, just talking a little smoother and whatnot. He's like, nope, you starting to sound like a rapper. Go back to your talking voice. And he literally coached me through sounding like this, like to the point to where I go and do performances and they're like, yo, you sound just like the record. You didn't change your voice. There's no auto tune or excessive this, that, and the effects and things like that. And I'm just
Because
like,
that's how it should be.
that's how it
It's
should be. It
you.
sounds like me. I've
Yes.
been using the same engineer
Mm-hmm.
for the entire time. Shout out to Chico over at Music and Focus in Fort Worth. That is my engineer. He's actually finishing up one EP for me right now while I've been at home recording the Christian EP that I'm going to send to him when this other one's done while I'm
Okay.
working on my next full-length album behind that. And it's a lot going on, y'all. I promise if I haven't made the song that you enjoy yet, it's coming.
Okay. So on that note, making songs that people would like. So you're from Fort Worth.
Hmm.
Do you rep DFW, the whole DFW, or just Fort Worth?
When I'm outside of DFW, I rep the whole DFW. When I'm
Okay.
home, it's Fort
It's Fort
Worth.
Worth. Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
most
So,
people outside of DFW don't know that Dallas and Fort Worth, like they think of DFW, they think of the airport. Oh,
oh
DFW
no,
airport's there. The whole thing is together.
two totally different cities.
Absolutely.
Totally different vibes. Dallas is very uptown. Fort Worth is kind of laid back. You
Hmm.
know, you can wear your cowboy boots and your cowboy hat, and everybody, I mean, everybody's pretty friendly on both in both cities, but Fort Worth just seems a little bit more relaxed and it
It
makes you
is.
more comfortable
It is. I mean,
being
there are
there.
some bad parts of Fort Worth. There's some
Well, just
hoods,
like
and
any
there's some
city,
stuff going on just like any city. But
just
I'm
like
actually
any
working on a song right now because I've seen this on a shirt. I've seen it posted in statuses and things like that. And um, I hope none of my people from Dallas are offended by this. But the song is called "If I Die in Dallas." And the chorus essentially says, "If I die in Dallas, drag my body back to Fort Worth." And that's
yeah,
me paying homage to where I'm from. So
yeah.
some people might feel rubbed wrong way by it, but you know what? It is what it is. It's my song, it's my expression, and I know everybody in Fort Worth is gonna love it. So
It's music, and if they are gonna have beef with you over some lyrics that you're singing, then that's the problem with them. So
yeah,
I do want to touch on that though, because the Fort Worth music scene is way different than Dallas music scene. So
it is.
how what is the trends that are going on in Fort Worth right now, and how do you maintain your independence from all of the trends that are going on and kind of carve your own path?
I maintain my independence from those trends because I have no idea what the hell they are.
I
Like
love it.
I have no idea what they are. Like Johnny Damn D is blowing up all over the country, the world right now. Like even he isn't in a scene. Like
Hmm.
the Murderworth Bend, it's a dance, it's a part of the culture and things like that that I had no idea existed. And I used to spend countless hours in the clubs out in Fort Worth. And it was, I mean, I didn't know what it was. I see it now. Everybody's doing the dance everywhere. It's going viral.
Hmm.
Shout out to him for that. But it's like, I can't do that music. Or okay, I
Yeah,
won't say can't. I've not tried to do that music
you've
because
not
I don't
tried.
I like to listen to that, but
That's not
that
your
doesn't
lane,
strike
though.
me as something, yeah, that doesn't strike me as something that I want to
Mhm.
make. Then
Yeah.
you've got your true to hip hop element, like super lyrical, make you sit and think artists and stuff like that you have
Hmm.
out of Fort Worth. I can go that way, but for me, I feel like art needs to be not just an expression of who you are, but it needs to be an escape from what you got going on. And I don't
Right.
want to turn on somebody's album and they talking about, damn, it's hard to pay bills out here. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm listening to music because I want to forget about that for the next 3.5 minutes.
I
So
want to figure it for the last 3.5 weeks.
yeah, like
Just saying.
we know it's hard. I
Yes.
don't need you to remind me of that in the music. Leave that for the album cut. Like I don't want to turn on
Hmm.
the radio and hear that. And I don't really listen to the radio because they play the same 15 songs constantly. So I hop in my car and just hit shuffle and just
Um,
let it play whatever.
for real, I turn on I have my playlist. I have my playlist list, and then I have my playlist of artists that are in my local area, and artists that I know from producers that are working with them. And I keep that I keep that list rotated all the
Yep.
time. I'm constantly listening to you, Lyric Bay, Alize Ali. I've listened to a couple
Ah,
of Grand Larson songs. I listen to Eric Roberson, Kanye Doss, the foreign exchange. Like I'm listening to people who I know are working with music producers here in the DFW area, and people that I have personally met.
Hmm.
So Demo, several people, Ms. Oh, just Ms. Oh my goodness, her voice is like an angel. Um,
You got to send her my way. I'm
um,
sure I can find something to put her on.
Look, her jazz, the way she sings, she's a music teacher. Amazing. LePage, fantastic. Brayla, man, Brayla is I think Brayla and Miz could do great on your albums, especially your gospel album, Just Miz. She would be perfect because her voice is like an angel. Brayla is very um she's so melodic, and the way that her brain thinks and she comes up with lyrics and tones and the sounds that come out of her throat are just I love her. And LePage is she's growing into her own style. Like these are women in Lyric Bay. She came up with a jingle for a Niger Grill Spice. Like who thinks of these things except for extremely talented people like with you and
Real
Henny and Tacos?
creatives.
Extremely creative. So Henny and Tacos is on Uncrowned King, right? And
Yes.
your album dropped in 2014, right?
The original Uncrowned King dropped in 2014. Yes. Henny and
Mm-hmm.
Tacos dropped on Uncrowned King 3 back
Three.
last year, 2024. So 10 years
24.
after the original one.
Okay. So you have a set of Uncrowned King albums. What
Mhm.
does the title represent for your journey as a musician?
So for me, the whole idea of an Uncrowned King was it started with the normal rapper like arrogance,
Mm-hmm.
like I should be the king, I just don't have a crown yet, I'm gonna prove it to y'all that I should be the king, so like I'm uncrowned, I don't have the king, or I don't have the crown, therefore I'm not a king, so I'm gonna get there. So in the first
Mm-hmm.
album, the title track was called Uncrowned King, and the hook was ain't no kings in the game, it's a fucking democracy. Because a lot of the times people want to crown themselves king, but it's somebody that's better than you right next door, that
Mm-hmm.
they should have been the king. So maybe we need to vote on that. So I was trying to remove the idea that there was a king in rap in general. Like there is no king. You can't be king of the south, east, west, north, the city, the street, the whatever, because there's always gonna be somebody better than you. There's always gonna be somebody competing with you. And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
want people throwing rocks at the throne, you need to find a way to protect it or not claim it as such. So
Absolutely.
that was 2014. Then in 2020, yeah. No, 2021, I dropped Uncrowned King 2, Loyalty Over Royalty.
And you had a little flip on there.
I did.
A
I had
Texas hip hop icon.
that one was crazy how that one came together, because
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't anticipating him one wanting to do the song, because I just sent him a beat. I
Mm-hmm.
had a title, I had a beat, and I had no idea what I was gonna like. I was already writing a song. The song originally was gonna be called I Remember, and I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
sing a hook on it. So I sent over the beat. Shout out to Young Balla on the beat for that one. I sent it over to him. I was like, hey, like, here's what I'm calling it. Do your thing. Like it's a freestyle king. He gonna come up with something. He
Mm-hmm.
sent back that verse and a hook. And I was
Oh,
just like, I didn't
oh
pay for a
wow.
verse in the hook. I paid for a verse. And he was like, whatever, do what you want with it. Still haven't used that hook. It might pop up on another project. Who knows? But yeah, he sent
Oh
back that
yeah.
verse. And I was just like, oh, okay, that fits perfectly with kind of what I was, thinking about. So I let the song start with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even bother putting a hook on there. I just came in right behind him and did my thing, and it got great reviews. Like people were like, "Man, Lil Flip does a lot of features, but it sounded like he actually wanted to be on this one. He wasn't just doing it for the money." I don't
Yeah.
remember how much we paid, but it wasn't enough for him to just be like, what you would expect from Lil Flip. But he got on there and he
Yeah.
did his thing, and I was like, "There's no way I'm not gonna follow that with a really hard verse." And I feel
Yeah.
like I definitely held my own on that track.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. Um, Voices is on the same album.
No, Voices was only ever released as a single. Voices 1
Okay.
and 2 were released as singles, and then the
Why didn't
third
you put
one
it on the
wasn't
album?
released because I wanted. So, uh, I can get on a soapbox about Voices. So,
I want to.
Voices
Yes, we're about to get on that
as a
soapbox.
project, Voices as a series of songs, and it's three. I always do things in threes for the most part.
Hmm.
Voices came about. So my buddy Marka, he sent me the hook, and it was dark, and it was like it was deep, and I was just like, you know what? I want that. I don't know what you plan on doing with it, but I want it. He was like, all right, cool. Like here's the producer work because he sent it to me on a tagged beat. I try not to ever do tagged beats unless it's just one at the beginning. So
Yeah.
I found the producer, bought the beat, was like, hey, let's run this song. And then I linked up with one of my coworkers and I was playing it in my office because I had just started a new position. So I was like the store manager. He was my
Hmm.
assistant manager. And I was playing it in the office on my break. He's like, what's that? I was like, oh, it's a song I'm working on. He's like, oh, I think I could write something. I was like, cool, yeah, you can feature on it. So I told him to write something. He wrote a whole song. And I was like, no, not a whole song, a feature. He's like, no, I wrote the song, you do it. And I was like, all right, cool. So I started listening to it, and the rate at which he was rapping was a little bit out of my range. I'm not really a fast rapper, not Bone Thugs or anything like that. So I was like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go back and tweak it. So I went back and tweaked what he had written, made it a little bit more personal and to my style, and kept a little bit of the alliteration and everything and rapping in different cadences. And when the song was finished, it was just like, wow. Like who talks about stuff like because it's about dealing with mental health, thoughts of suicide,
Yes.
ultimately in the end, attempted failed attempt at suicide. And it was just
Yes.
like, wow.
What made you go that deep and expose that type of vulnerability in that song?
Because nobody talks about it. Like
Right.
there are people who talk about
Nobody
it,
does.
but they don't put it out in music. And there are some other
Yeah.
artists that have done it, like Joyner Lucas has done it, Logic has done it, Eminem has
Hmm.
talked about it. But it's like those three artists are very niche artists. Like
Hmm.
people who listen to Joyner probably listen to Logic, probably listen to Eminem because they all fit in the same like
Hmm.
niche of artists. They all kind of
Yes.
have similar cadences, most of them stemming from what Eminem has done. But I was
Hmm.
like, this is something that people need to talk about because like I've dealt with mental health issues. I've dealt with
Yeah.
thoughts of suicide and
Yeah.
depression and things like that. And I know what it feels like to be the person that's making sure everybody else is okay, but there's nobody making sure I'm okay,
You're okay.
and
Yeah.
whatever that case is.
Yeah.
And so I took it there, and one review that someone did on it on Blue Rhymes Entertainment's website, they did the review on it, and they were just like, we're not even going to give away the ending of this. You got to listen to it to really understand the vulnerability that's in the song. And it
Yeah.
set a bar for the series. And I was like,
Yes.
okay, we came out hard, but the hard part is always like the beginning. That's the hardest part is
The,
dealing with it.
the
Then it
start of
comes
opening
with
that it's a
exactly.
wound that a lot of people have. I myself have dealt with those types of feelings. I've had mental health issues just because of the depression from my first husband leaving me for my friend, and
Wow.
that opened up a whole lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
I took him back, and he did it again, and so I've had to heal from that. And Voices seems like a song that I really resonated with, and I appreciate you taking the time and the mental fortitude to share that type of struggle with people, especially now. People
Hmm.
need to hear that series. They need to hear Voices. It When I listened to it, I was like, oh, this is me. This is what I've dealt with, and
Yeah.
I appreciate you for bringing those types of mental health struggles to the forefront, because we have a rapper right now who his wife is advocating for him because he has schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Hmm.
And you all can go look that up yourself. You can see the interview on
Was it
with
Breakfast Club?
Charlemagne
Yeah.
in the Breakfast Club. But it's very important for us to highlight these mental struggles that everyone's having, especially now when things are we're in tumultuous times, and things politically are kind of crazy. So your song Voices, I really think it needs a larger platform
Hmm.
now than it did back in even 2020, 2021. So thank you for making that.
Yeah, my
So,
my dream for that entire project, all three songs, was to turn it
mhm.
into a mini movie because there's a story being told from dealing with
Oh,
it to the aftermath of, like what happened at the end of the first song. The second song is like
yes.
dealing with the aftermath of that. And as I was writing these, I actually, because people had heard the first one, and when I
Mhm.
was working on the second and third one, I had people who had attempted suicide or who was dealing with things like that. They reached out to me and were like, hey, like you got to continue the story. And I was like, well, I
Mm.
am. I haven't gone that far, so it's hard for me to put myself in there. And they opened up and told me, hey, when I attempted suicide, this is how I felt afterwards. When obviously
Mhm.
I wasn't successful in doing it, these are
Yeah.
the thoughts that I had, and taking that into consideration, and then writing the second part. And I was able to get Cam Simi involved in that one because
Mhm.
I had created a bridge that plays right after the verse. And it's just nobody knows my pain. They only see my smile, not knowing deep inside the demons trying to take me out. Like
Mhm.
that was all I had. And she was like, don't worry, I'll take the rest. And so she got on there and she did her thing and we
She
did that.
did her thing.
And then when it came to part three, all three songs were produced by the same producer, by the way, Tuna
Mhm.
Beats. Shout out to him. But on the third one, I went back and I got Marka to come back and do the third one.
Mhm.
And that one is essentially that one's Voices Part Three, the voice of reason, and it's the call for help. Ultimately, like I need some help because living just ain't for me, and like it's all the thoughts that go on in that person's head. And when you're going through this, and there are some people that one day they're on top of the world, and the next day, just out of nowhere, nothing happened in particular. They just feel like the weight of the world is coming down on them and they need help. And just the thoughts in their head are telling them, like, no one's going to help you. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. Just, end it. Everybody else will be better off if you're gone. You'll be better off if you're gone because you don't have to worry about any of this. And I wanted to bring that to the screen. I'm just not a screenwriter.
It's
And so
okay.
I'm just
I
like,
know people. I
yeah, I
know
need
people who are.
I need someone to help me bring that to
I
life.
know people who would probably love to take this project on.
I definitely want to
I'm
get that one brought to life. And it doesn't even have to be
yes.
me acting in it.
Yeah.
But like the story needed to be told, and now people need to be able to see and hear the story. So
Well, you
somebody,
could be like Spike Lee or like M. Night Shyamalan, and do have a little
little
a
cameo.
little cameo,
Yeah,
a
just a
little
little
B
walkthrough of
roll
my own.
in
Yeah.
your own movie or in your own series. Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, no, that one's still, because I released it earlier this year. I released it back in February,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I got to put it out there because I've been sitting on it
Yeah.
for too long,
Yeah.
and I know that somebody somewhere needs to hear it. Like I'm gonna put it out there, and then I'll work on everything else in the background while I'm trying to figure out the logistics behind getting the script, if need be, the screenplay, the actors and actresses, etc. Get it
Mm-hmm.
done because it's like you said, it needs to be displayed on a bigger platform because
It
that's
really
not a
should.
story that most
Yeah.
people are willing to talk about even in private, let alone turn it into a song, let alone put it out there for people to judge it.
Yeah.
Like just continuing to move along that path. And ultimately I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, at some point it has to be like it. Even though the project is out, I feel like I'm only 50% done with what needs to be done with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want you to walk me through your creative process. Um, when you're writing songs like Voices or Henny and Tacos or solo, um,
Ooh,
are you
solo.
writing from experience? Are you writing from observing other people, or is it kind of like a mix of both?
It's a mix depending on what the song is. So if we go
Hmm.
through those examples, voices was a mix of thoughts and things like that that I've had. Obviously, thoughts that the singer had had, my buddy who helped me write the first one, and
Mm-hmm.
then the people who reached out to me when I was writing the second and third one. It was a
Mm-hmm.
culmination of the information that they all provided me and the experiences that I've had and things like that. With
Mm-hmm.
Henny and Tacos was a thing where the actual idea of the song came from a studio session when I was finishing Go Right Now, because I
Mm-hmm.
had mentioned leaving a party, going somewhere to get tacos, and I have Henny in the car. And my engineer is like, "So now you got to follow this up with a song called Henny and Tacos." And I was like, "All right, bet." And so I sat down and I was trying to figure it out, and I had the beat for the longest. The same guy
Mm-hmm.
produced Go Right Now and Henny and Tacos, and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to go. Like I had the I'm just here for the sunshine. Like I had that portion, but I didn't really have a hook. That was actually going to be the hook. And then I reached out to Spaceship. I was like, yo, Spaceship, I'm trying to figure something out for this. And he literally wrote the hook in like 30 seconds to a minute. He
He said
just
he was
like
sitting on the toilet.
yeah, he was sitting on the toilet and he wrote it because I guess he didn't have nothing else to do. So he
Right.
wrote it, and then like he wrote that, and I started finding ways to make it fit to the beat. And like I switched up some of the words and whatnot. And then I came home from wherever I was. I came straight home, straight in this room, dropped the beat in there, and like went with it. Like he'll tell you, it was maybe 2 hours before I not only sent him back the hook that he wrote, I sent him the entire song
Oh my
like within
gosh.
2 hours. I was like, look, here's what I got. And he was like, I need a verse on that. I was like, well, I've already finished it. I'm gonna do what I'm doing with it. But when I
Mm-hmm.
came with the idea of doing a remix, I wasn't gonna share it with anybody else if he wasn't gonna get on it. Like there would be no remix if Spaceship was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Y'all, they gonna get the
Yeah.
original version.
Yeah.
And so that one was just the whole idea behind it coming spinning off of Go Right Now, getting help with the hook, but just even having the little sing-songy part at the beginning. That was just what I like to do in the summer, what I like to
Oh
do on
man.
holiday weekends. I just want to hang out, have a good time, drink,
That
eat,
opening,
chill with my people.
yeah. The opening is like there's nothing. It's just you. But
Yeah.
it sounds so good.
Yeah, it's just
You
first
know,
off, let me start by addressing the facts. I can't be seen around no
exactly.
people who don't know how to act because you don't want people around that don't know how to act. That's a problem
Yes.
that we have. We put together stuff, we put our time, money, and effort into putting something together, and then people who don't know how to act show up and ruin it. So I don't want those kind of people around me.
And you got to fight them or you got to kick them out or you got to, like, why you drinking up all the liquor?
Yeah, you didn't bring no
You
paper
didn't bring
plates.
nothing
You didn't
with you.
bring no sides. You didn't even bring nothing to throw on the
Just coming
grill.
here
But
ruining
you
all
got
of our
it.
good
But you
time.
you pull up with an empty cup. You got your Stanley with you. You finna get 40 ounce of my liquor. No, you're not.
Right.
Not at all. So that one was just, a good vibe and things like that. But solo, I wrote solo shortly after my grandmother passed.
Mm-hmm.
That entire project that that song is on. It's called 4700. The title is or was the address of my grandmother's house. It was a house that I grew up in. The
Mm-hmm.
cover is the house as it looked back then. It's since been sold and remodeled and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the project wasn't necessarily dedicated to my grandmother, but it was my way of like getting the creative juices flowing again and being able to get things out in the time from when she passed and we buried her to when I released it
Wow.
a year or two later. So that's why like the verses is like July 2nd, 2019, I lost my granny, and then July 6th, I lost myself because that was the date of her funeral. And so
Mm.
it was different things. And like I was doing a lot of drinking, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot, like
Mm-hmm.
real bad, to the point to where if I didn't drink, I would feel hungover when I woke up the next morning.
Yeah.
Um, and so I mean, just that whole string of bad habits of eating bad, drinking bad, and so much and stuff like that led to health issues. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, I need to get healthier. I ended up getting diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Is
And
that
when
how
I
you
went and
pulled
saw,
yourself out of the bad
yeah,
habits?
yeah, I had to because I got
Yeah.
diagnosed because I noticed I was having mood swings. Even if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't drinking, I would feel hungover. I was drinking a
Mm-hmm.
ton of water, which I thought was great. Oh yeah, I'm drinking a bunch of
Oh
water, but it was like my
no.
body needed it. And then when I
No.
went to the doctor, My A1C was 13.9.
Oh my goodness, sir.
And
That is, oh,
he was like, when was the last time you took your medicines? I was like, what medicines? He was like, you're diabetic. I was like, no, I'm not. He was like, your A1C says you are. I was like, ah,
yeah.
well, here we go. So I got on the
Mm,
medicines, changed up my eating habits, got a little bit more active, stopped drinking as much, still drink, but not as much. And like within 6 months to a year, I got my A1C from 13.9 down to 6.9. And I
mm,
was like, and
okay,
I
that's
think
good. Still kind of
at my
high.
lowest in that time, I was down at a 4.8.
Okay,
So,
that's better. Much
yeah,
better.
much better, a whole lot better. I'm almost a full 10 points below where I was where I was initially.
Woo! Oh
But it
my
was crazy
goodness.
because in doing that, and I was sharing my progress online, come to find
Hmm.
out a lot of people that I was friends with, unbeknownst to me, were also diabetics. And they started reaching out to me, asking me, hey, how are you getting your A1C down so quickly, so consistently? Like, what are you doing differently that maybe I can try?
Hmm.
And like I had friends, or not had, I say it like they're gone or we're not friends anymore. I have friends who are also diabetic, but they're type
Hmm.
1 diabetics. So they deal with different things than what I deal with. But it was just like, I mean, everybody used to make the jokes of, oh, you eat too much sugar, you're gonna become a diabetic. You do too much of this, you're gonna become a diabetic. And I was guilty of it too until I really learned and understood what the hell it was
Yep.
and the different types.
Hmm.
And I've even read articles and things like there might be a type 3 diabetes. And I was just like, hell,
Dementia and Alzheimer's.
yep, there's a type
Yep.
3 because
That's the
then they
type
find
three.
all of the, I was just like, you
Yeah.
know what?
Yeah.
I got to
Destroys the
handle
nerves
up
in the
on two.
brain.
Yeah, I got a handle up on two, so I don't develop three. And thank
Hmm.
God I didn't have one. My grandfather had one,
Oh,
so
yeah.
my former manager had one, and he's only my former manager because he just doesn't deal with music anymore. He's really
Hmm.
great photographer and videographer, so he chose
Oh,
a much more lucrative path. So
oh,
that's the
yeah.
only reason I refer to him as my former manager. But he still does managerial things if I ask
Yeah.
him. But yeah, he's diabetic, and so I was just like, you know what, I got to take better care of myself because I want to be around for as long as I possibly can. I got kids. Like
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to I got a family. I want to be able to do stuff and I can't if I am not taking care of myself and they got to take my leg,
Yep.
I lose an eye or something
Yep.
like that. So I've been doing better at taking care of myself. I have gained a little bit of weight, but who doesn't like a big dude?
No,
But my
we
vision
do.
has
We
gotten
all
better
do.
because of it. So
We all do. But how important was community to you during your healing journey from your bad habits to your health journey where you are now?
luckily for me, the village I have around me did not judge me for it. They were
Hmm.
supportive when I told, like, I have a group chat with my entire family. I went in there and told them, hey, got diagnosed with diabetes. It's type 2. Here's what they want me to do. And they supported me in it. Because, again, like my grandfather died from complications with diabetes and a stroke and high blood pressure. Like, it was bad. So we've all
Hmm.
tried to, make our best effort to make sure we don't all follow down that path. My dad's a certified personal trainer.
Hmm.
My aunt is a nutritionist. Like we know what we need to do to take care of ourselves so we can live long and healthy lives. My friends, if I would go over to their houses or go hang out with them and be like, nah, man, like I'm not drinking. I try to limit my drinking and whatnot. None of them would be like, why? Just have one. Da, da, da. They'd be like, all right, cool. Can I get you an energy drink? You want some water? Whatever the case may be. Like they were
Hmm.
all very supportive of that. So I didn't feel ostracized or anything like that whenever I told everybody because they supported me in that. And even some of them have gotten diagnoses of like pre-diabetic or they're
Hmm.
also hypertensive or whatever. And they come to me,
Hmm.
hey, what did you do to turn that around or get it under control? And we do it together. We challenge each other on the Apple Watch. Hey, I didn't get a notification of you working out today. Like cash out me 20 bucks because you missed the workout, whatever the accountability is that we had to go
Hmm.
through. So
Yeah.
the community definitely helped because if I had to go through that by myself, there would probably be 7 or 8 voices tracks. So
You may need to write something about diabetes and taking care of your health.
I might be time to get one of those songs out there about
Hmm.
better health and taking care of myself and
Hmm.
make it sound like it's not what that is, but then
Right.
people start to realize, oh, what do you say about checking
Right.
your A1C, going to your
Uh-huh.
doctor? Like most people, I was one of those people. I don't go to a hospital unless unfortunately someone's dying or I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I don't like hospitals, and no offense to them, but there's one specific hospital in Fort Worth that I refuse to go to if I don't have to, because
Yeah.
every time I visited someone in that hospital, they did not leave.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, you know what? I don't do hospitals, whatever the case may be. But hey, I go to the doctor quarterly now. I go to the
Good.
dentist twice a year. Like, I'm
Good.
fully taking full advantage of my health benefits.
Good.
And even
We
if I
need,
even if I didn't have health benefits, I would still find a way, because you never know
yeah,
what's going on.
yeah, we need more of our men of color, especially our black men, taking care of themselves. Go to your doctor's appointments, y'all. Get your
Go do it.
checkups, get your annual physicals, go see your doctor. If you don't want to go see them once a quarter, go see them at least twice a year. Get your
Hmm.
prostate checked, get your chest checked as well. Men can get breast
Yep.
cancer as well. Make sure
Hmm.
you're getting your full body scans. If high blood pressure, heart disease, what is it? The bypass surgeries.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If
Don't
that
don't want
runs in
any of
your
those.
family, go get your heart calcium scan done. It's $100 out of pocket. Go get it done. Go see a doctor and get yourself checked, because a
And if
lot
you
of us have
have,
stuff going on with us
yep.
and we don't even know it because we're not getting those scans.
And if you have health benefits, look into the rewards in that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my job with my benefits, I get paid for doing these things. When I go to my annual physical, I get $100. When I go to the dentist, I get another $50. I get my eye
Mm-hmm.
exam, I get $75. And then I take that money and then I pay a bill with it. I
Mm-hmm.
pay for some, well, I don't have to pay for studio time, but I pay for the mixing and mastering with it. It's, I'm investing in my health, and
Yeah.
me investing in my health is allowing me to invest in something else,
Yeah.
or just pay a bill. So it's too many resources out there, and I feel like so many people don't talk about it because it's not gangsta to go to the doctor. Well, it's
Mm-hmm.
also not gangsta to lose your foot.
Or an
Like,
eye or a
yeah,
finger or
like
have
Slick Rick
gout
might have been
and you
cool
can't
with
walk
the
around.
patch, but we don't all need to. We're not all trying to be like Slick Rick.
Right.
So
Right.
go check your stuff. No,
Go
like,
get yourself
just
checked.
do it. Get checked. Don't wait until it's
Nike.
too late.
Right.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, y'all love Nikes. I got plenty of them. Just do
Right.
it.
Yes. They need to abide by that motto. Okay, so I have a couple more questions left to ask you.
Okay.
And this next one is about your legacy, because you are a health advocate for yourself. You are a mental health advocate, especially with voices. You are an advocate for community. You're an advocate for other artists. You put other artists on your songs, and they're absolutely fantastic. So, what does J Diggs the Prodigy's legacy look like once everything's all said and done?
I would say J Diggs the Prodigy's legacy looks like someone that understood that people just want to be heard and seen,
Mm-hmm.
because all I've ever wanted was to be heard. Like, I don't do a ton of music videos because I don't care if you see this. But I want people to listen. Some people are
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, don't care about the streams. The reason I care about the streams is not how many, is where. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see where the streams are coming from, because I have something in my music that needs to find somebody at a specific time in their life. And sometimes I can tell when that happens because it'll spike, and it'll spike out of nowhere, and somebody, and like, there'll be one song that suddenly gets really popular in another area, and then it hits an algorithmic. One of my songs ended up on a K-pop playlist. I make zero K-pop music. I don't know how
Oh,
that happened, but it
wow.
ended up on a K-pop playlist on Spotify. I didn't question it, because that means
Right.
somebody who either loves K-pop or is in Korea kept playing my music mixed in with the K-pop music that they love, and so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I've always wanted to do a project called I Just Want to Be Heard. In fact, I already have a cover for it, and I've been sitting on it since 2015. So
Mm-hmm.
one day it might actually come out, but that's always been my biggest thing. Like, my legacy is, like, I hear you, I see you. Here's what I went through. We went through this together. Maybe not at the same time, but you catch that song, we went through that. And I have songs about all kinds of different things. Like, hey, you got friends with benefit situations, you fall in love, you trying to get a
Mm-hmm.
girl, you just want to go out and party, drank too much, you having mental health problems, you need to go to church. You were in church, you left church, now you coming back to church. Like it's
Hmm.
I try to cover a wide variety of topics because I don't want any listener to feel excluded from my catalog of music and what I
Hmm.
do. And that's why I look to also bring in a wide variety of featured artists. I have an artist by the name of Bass Angelov. He lives in Switzerland. Never met
Hmm.
this guy a day in my life in person. I honestly don't even know how I connected with him. He's been on two of my songs. Cool dude, super cool dude, but
That's awesome.
it works.
Yeah.
So my legacy is forever going to be I mean I came, I listened, I saw you, I heard you. Let's move on with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's wonderful. I appreciate that so much. All right, last question. If you were out with friends and you had to choose one dish that y'all had to split, would it be nachos or tacos?
Nachos, because I do not share tacos.
See? Thank you. Thank you. You gotta share nachos. Nachos are a shareable dish. Plus, whenever you get them, it's a big ass tray anyway, right?
Well, here, think of it this way, and anybody watching this, think of this too. When you go to a restaurant and you looking at the appetizers, there's always some variation of nachos. There's never some variation of tacos. I don't even
No,
understand why wings are considered an appetizer because I'm not
me
sharing my
neither.
wings either.
I'm
But
not sharing my wings.
nachos are individual tortilla chips. They took
Yeah.
one tortilla and they broke it into multiple pieces so that you could share. It's like the Mexican Lord's Supper. This is like they took it and they broke it so you could share it with somebody.
You got a point because you would not sit down and eat, um, I don't know, six corn tortillas in a row,
But
but
you'll eat 30 tortilla
eat,
chips.
eat 30 tortilla chips.
Nobody ever thinks of it that way. They were like, "Oh no, I only ate like 30 of them." It's like
No,
every four is a
you
whole
had like
tortilla.
six corn tortillas, dude. What the
Yeah,
hell?
no. Yeah, anyone who says that they would share tacos is a much friendlier person than I am cuz no.
Right, right.
No. Don't touch my
I
tacos, don't touch my drink.
You can't touch my tacos, my drink, or my wings. I'm sorry. I
Mm-mm.
no, even if I have wings left over, don't you touch the
I got an
food
air
on my
fryer, I got
plate.
an oven, I got a microwave. Leave my
I'm heating them
leftovers
up.
alone.
Exactly.
Leave them
Exactly.
alone.
Well, I certainly appreciate your time. Thank you so much. This was such a delightful
Thank you
interview.
for
It
having
was so
me.
insightful. Any last words? Anything you want to ask me?
Um, hmm. Something I can ask you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So other than Henny and tacos,
Mm-hmm.
what's your favorite J Diggs and Prodigy song?
Go right now.
Yeah, I love that one. That one's a staple in my performance set, especially
Yeah.
with the band. The
Yeah.
band flows through that song so well.
Oh, so well.
That
So
one
well.
there,
I
that
love
one
that
was
song.
that was me to a core. There's been so many times I've gone out to
Mhm.
parties and I didn't really want to be there, but my friends were like, "Just pull up, just pull up." All right, cool, I'm here, and you just be stuck against the wall the whole time. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Go Right Now actually led to Henny and Taco, so it makes sense that those two songs would be your favorites. They're married.
I do really like them a lot. And I
Why do you
play them
have a
often. And they're both on my
blue
playlist
mic?
in title.
There you go. So I want to know, how long have you had this blue mic?
Oh, I actually have four of them. I
Wow.
yeah, yeah, I have four. I'm gonna get my little fuzzy mic covers for them. But I have had these for I want to say a year now.
Wow. See, I have a Spark. I've
Yeah,
always really loved my blue
sparks are
Spark,
nice.
but I've been thinking about upgrading maybe to a baby bottle,
Yeah, I've got four baby
something.
bottles at
Yeah. So what do
home.
you
I
need
got them on
four baby bottles
sale.
for? I need
Hey,
next
look,
time that sale pops up, let me know. Because if it was a good enough sale to buy four baby bottles,
I got four. Yeah.
sheesh.
But I wanted to have really good sound. I also got, these little things. So if somebody wanted to come over
Yeah, I'm dry.
to Yeah, do some recording or whatever they can. It's just I have 4 headsets. Like we can sit down and have a whole. I can have a whole podcast. I want to
Yeah.
get one of those next
Yeah. I love
because I
my
want to do
chaotic
some.
eyeball.
Yeah, I want to do some voiceover work. So I think I either need an eyeball or I need one of those like little half moon pads that I can do
You want
some
to do some
voiceover work with.
voiceover work? I
Mm-hmm.
actually have an assignment. So the project that my engineer is finishing is called phone service. And I have a script for some voiceovers that I need for this project. And
Really?
it's literally like the person listening is calling into Prodigy Mobile because everybody has a cell phone. I just
Uh-huh.
need a couple little short, you know, voiceovers of, hey, thank you for calling Prodigy Mobile, your call is important to us. While you wait, please enjoy the music. And then it goes into the first song, and then I
I,
literally have it scripted out. And
yeah.
I have not gotten anybody to do it. I sent it to one person and they were like, yeah, I'll get it done, and they didn't. And I'm not putting my project on hold for someone else. So
So
I'm
so get at me because right now I'm off work from my 9 to 5
This is
because the
perfect
government
timing
shut down.
because
So it's perfect
because
timing.
I mean it's unfortunate but perfect timing because the
Right.
project is almost done. Like I've got it's 6 songs total for at least this version of it, and
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 of them already back.
Okay.
So
You have my
I just
email.
I do. I will get
Send
that
it over
script
to
sent
me.
over to you before the night is actually once we get off of here. I'm gonna send the script over to you because there's parts for a man's voice. I'll probably do those myself unless your
Okay.
husband wants to do them. If he can
No.
sound like an angry, disgruntled man on the phone with with a cell
It's
phone
very
worker.
hard for him to sound angry. I'm telling you, he does not have the
Ah,
voice for that.
I can be angry because I used to get yelled at so much. I started yelling back at customers. I don't know
Oh
how I
my
still have the
goodness.
job that I have after yelling back at them, but I can handle the men's part. But I definitely needed somebody with a good voice because I needed to sound official. Like my
Yeah.
engineer will do what he needs to do, but I needed someone who at least could articulate the script. So I'm gonna
Okay,
get that sent
perfect.
over to you.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
And when you send it back, send me your PRO information if you've got it,
Okay, I
because
will. I will.
I do give percentages to everybody involved.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you for the interview, J Diggs the
Thank
Prodigy.
you.
This was fantastic. And hey, you guys need to hit me up, hit J Diggs up for his music for real because it's amazing. But also hit me up. I know so many people who are looking for opportunities. You see what just happened. This can happen for you too. So thank you all
It
for
can.
tuning in from A to Zoe. I'm your hostess, Zoe Robinson, and I will see you next time.